Hi, Jared OD here from Dynamis Training. I received an email just the other day from a head teacher who we had given some advice and training to recently. She wanted me to clarify our position on lifting and carrying a child who's being restrained. She asked this: we have a boy in reception that can be very difficult at times. He refuses to move, and it's causing a problem to others around him. The behavior team have advised 2 adults to carry him out of the room, 1 adult on the arm and 1 on the legs. I've said to the class teacher that they must not do this. Can you please make sure that I'm giving them the correct advice? Now, we would see these 4 different areas of risk here, which I'm going to go into with you. First of all, let's have a look at the manual handling regulations. In the manual handling regulations, we have advice to employers that says, so far as is reasonably practicable, they must avoid the need for their employees to undertake any manual handling operation at work which involves a risk to their being injured. And it goes on to say, if that cannot be avoided, then must make a suitable and sufficient assessment of all such manual handling operations and then take appropriate steps to reduce the risk. So then there is a manual handling risk assessment filter offered in the regulations. And one part of it discusses the maximum weights, and you can see them on screen. For man, about 25 kilos is the absolute maximum. For woman, about 16 kilos. When we look at the weights of even 4- and 5-year-old boys in schools, which are, in our experience, the ones most likely to be needed to be handled and lifted, they are somewhere between 17 and 20 kilos. So just about at the maximum weight for somebody at work to need to be working with. Now, the filters or the risk assessment suggestions go on to say even more. They ask, is the load bulky or unwieldy? Does the task involve stooping? Does the task involve considerable lifting or lowering distances and pulling of the load? Does the task require unusual strength or height, etc.? Is there sudden movement of the load? Is it at floor level or near floor level? And are there several risk factors? One other question asked is, does the task involve team handling? We would always suggest that you need 2 people to safely restrain a child in any case. But even when we look at the potential lifting or carrying of a child, there are real risks involved in team handling, such as coordinating who's doing what, who's got the front, who's got the back, what the balance of that type of lifting might be. And then we have to ask about the suitability of the employees for the task at hand. When we visit the schools around the country, we see lots of people with knee, back problems, foot problems, neck and shoulder problems, and we'd have to ask, are the schools aware of who they're asking to lift and carry the child? Are they physically suitable? Now, on the advice question about some behavior or team telling your staff how to do a particular physical intervention task, one would really need to ask some serious questions about their competence to do so. As I've mentioned, there are these huge issues around manual handling and manual handling assessment and reducing risk. And secondly, I would say there's also a question around their competence to give you physical intervention advice and, if you like, training, especially if they're showing you how to do something. I think as a head teacher, you'd want to make sure that the people giving you advice were competent to do so. And in that case, I think you would be asking to see qualifications and competency in manual handling and qualifications and competency in physical intervention and restraint. So finally, on the question, this email that I received, I had to tell the teacher that for all of these reasons, I would suggest that they have to look again at what they're doing. I would not necessarily take the advice of the behavior management team at face value and investigate thoroughly what their alternatives and options are at this time. So there you have it, some advice on the issue of lifting and carrying. I hope this video has been helpful. We'll be back soon with more advice and pointers for you on positive handling. If you need any help from us, please use the website, drop us a line on our office phone number or email, and you could even subscribe to our YouTube channel to see these updates as they come in. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks, bye-bye.